I just want to see Truth. Good. Hello. Hello. Is anybody out there? Hello. Is anybody out there? Hello. Is anybody out there? I really think this is going to be a great live, guys. I really do. Hello, Fluffy. Welcome. Welcome. It's so good to see you. Hello, Demon Dictator. What do you think about my titles? Do you think we should do true crime later? Or should we do it now? I got 2 lives going. I got a Donald Trump one that I'm going to do. And then I'm going to do the wedding gone wrong. I was watching it today on my way to get me a coffee, and it was interesting. So I thought, hey, why not we both watch it? I don't see. Because what was we supposed to do today, Demon Dictator? We were supposed to do either Oprah Winfrey's interview or something else, or Tom Sykes, I think it was. Demon Dictator, something's wrong with my you know how it tells you how many people's in the chat? Something's wrong with it. It's not showing. I don't know how many people's in here. Not a good sign. Hyper's Bazaar. Yeah, because you said you were going to read the Hyper's Bazaar, right? Yeah. Because I would just confuse people when I get the reading. Because when I read and try to comprehend it at the same time. So it's not good. But we got plenty of time to do those. We don't necessarily have to do it today. But I want to do it where when you're off, Demon Dictator, or when you're like working from home, so you can be on the panel with me. I'm gonna go out and come back in and see if this is fixed. There's something wrong with my live. Thank you. That'll be awesome, Demon Dictator. That'll be great. Because I heard it was a page turner. She just makes a fool out of herself again. Demon Dictator, can you see how many people's in the chat just by looking at the chat button? It's not working for me. So I don't know how many people's in here. Just you? Oh, wow. I guess we'll wait. Maybe my topic is not that. I don't have a great topic, but it's going to be great. I really wanted to do it, unless you think I should do it tonight or something. Hi, Juanita. Yeah, it's weird, Demon Dictator. I can't see it. Should I start the stream over? Or I could StreamYard. Ooh. Lisa says she's here. Kevin's here. Juanita. Okay, can you tell me when we have 10 people in the chat? That way I can get started. So, hello, Plotter. Hello. You guys like the topic? Hello, Edward. Hello, Carl. Hello, Daisy Lee. Hello, Lisa B. I can't see how many people that are in my chat. But I say we spent an hour and a half on the true crimes. I was watching it on my way to get my coffee. And when I tell you it was interesting, it was interesting. So how many is okay with watching true crimes this morning? Okay, and then after that, we're going to go into the other trending topic is Donald Trump and his war. That is a very trending topic. And then I don't know if we're going to make it to Mega Do today. So I have no idea what is wrong with. Yeah, it doesn't work. You know what, Demon Dictator? It might be a good thing that it doesn't work because I'm always looking at the number to see how many people's in here, and it's so annoying. But it said 0. Should we just continue? Should I start over? Good, who cares? Okay. Let me pull up our situation. Now this is not a happy go lucky. Okay, Adu? This is oopsie daisy. Maybe I made a mistake on my wedding day. Can you imagine something going wrong on your wedding day? Because you want everything to be perfect. But what if something goes wrong and it ends up being deadly? Ooh. What if it ends up being deadly? What did Demon say? Okay, thank you. Hello, Polo. Polo's in the house. Polo's in the house. Hello, Polo. Hello, Plotter. Hello, Daisy Lee. Hello, Demon Dictator. Hello, Lisa B. This is going to be, I hope you enjoy it. Those of you that like true crime will appreciate this. But it is crime. And usually crime, there's nothing good about crime. Okay? There's going to be a situation in each of these weddings. But they're like 10 minutes long. So get ready. Who says that? Get ready. I can give you a hint. Whoa. All right. Yeah, they're like 5-minute increments. We'll watch it, then we'll discuss. We'll watch, and then we'll discuss. We'll watch, and then we'll discuss. You tell me what you would have did at this particular moment if you were going to your wedding and it was going on wrong, and what would you do if your wedding plans go awry? What if something technical happens that is out of your control? Okay? Yes, it is, Polo. It is a marvelous Monday. A marvelous Monday. Yes, 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 yes. I'm so glad to see you guys. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hello, Kevin. Kevin's in the house. Okay, here we go. This is the first crime story. Trigger warning. Okay, it's on the screen. Where have you ever known true crime to be not triggering? Okay, so if you're gonna be triggered, dude, hold on to your seats.
In today's video, we examine the worst wedding deaths decisions and limited her control. The reveal her final professional project, managing every detail herself. She passed on licensed aviation effects teams, fortune investing in software infrastructure tied to cloud storage and aerial data, and he fixed. Marissa Carlisle were a wealthy Napa Valley couple.
Evan and Marcia Charlie. Okay, this is the couple. This is the couple where it all went wrong.
Evan, 41, built his fortune investing in software infrastructure tied to cloud storage and aerial data, and he fixated on clean, stable overhead imagery that looked effortless and controlled. Marissa, 38, was a former event planner, pregnant with their first child. She treated the gender reveal as her final professional project, managing every detail herself. She passed on licensed aviation effects teams, not because of cost, but because their protocols slowed decisions and limited her control. The reveal was scheduled for late morning to catch even light across the vineyards before the heat distorted the air.
They were going to do a
private
reveal.
Helicopter was hired to hover just above the terraced rows, while colored powder marked the moment on camera. Guests waited below with phones raised. The pilot held.
Hold on, guys. It's sticking. Let me close some of my
a
page.
low, steady hover to frame the shot. From the ground, everything appeared calm, precise, and rehearsed. Another controlled display meant to last only seconds. The helicopter arrived mid-morning, a light utility model commonly used for vineyard surveys and aerial inspections. It settled into position above the stone terraces. A powder release basket had been clamped to the skid frame earlier that morning by a small subcontractor Evan had sourced online. During the final check, the pilot warned that the powder could behave unpredictably in rotor wash and recommended.
So you know how powder comes from the plane? Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make a nice spectacle of them coming in on, I think, a helicopter. But we'll find out. But I do know that they are putting chemicals in a barrel so that when the plane flies, there's this color comes out the plane.
Recommended releasing it during slow forward motion. Marissa declined, insisting the aircraft remain stationary to keep the shot clean.
They told her to go at a certain speed. Melissa said, no, I want it to go the way I want it to go. Okay? So Melissa's being a little hard-headed. Okay? And so instead of listening to the safety rules and regulations, she says, no, we're going to do it this way.
Finely milled cornstarch mixed with powdered pink dye was loaded into the basket. The vineyard security cameras were active, recording for insurance documentation. Friends and staff watched from a distance, phones raised. The aircraft was hovering just above the upper terrace level, with stone retaining walls rising unevenly along the slope beneath it. The pilot repeated his concern. The release mechanism was armed anyway. When the powder was released, it did not fall. The rotor wash pulled it upward in a dense cloud. The rotor wash pulled the powder upward into the aircraft's disturbed airflow, disrupting stability around the tail boom.
There it
Within
is.
seconds, the helicopter yawed sharply to the right. The pilot attempted a correction, but directional control deteriorated rapidly as the tail rotor lost effective authority. The nose dipped as the aircraft began an uncontrolled spin. The tail boom clipped a stone retaining wall lining the terrace. The impact twisted the frame and pitched the helicopter forward. It slammed nose first into the vineyard slope. The front cabin collapsed inward. Evan's head snapped forward and to the side, breaking his neck instantly. Marissa was driven into the instrument panel as the seat rail failed, crushing her chest and abdomen. Fuel ruptured along the underside of the aircraft but did not ignite. Dust and powder hung briefly in the air. The helicopter settled at an angle, rotor blades shattering against stone. The unborn child did not survive the impact. Vineyard staff began running uphill. One worker called emergency services within 30 seconds. Paramedics arrived 11 minutes later. The pilot survived with fractures and was able to describe the loss of control. Security footage captured the yaw, the strike, and the final impact from two angles. Investigators recovered tail rotor fragments coated with pink powder residue. Flight data confirmed a sudden imbalance and loss of directional control immediately after release. The coroner reported Evan died instantly from a broken neck and brainstem injury. Marissa suffered massive internal bleeding, crushed lungs, and ruptured organs. Death occurred within minutes due to blunt force trauma. The fetus showed no signs of survivability after maternal injury. The final report cited unauthorized aerial.
She was pregnant.
Modifications and disregard of pilot warnings. Marissa's planning notebooks were logged as evidence. Pages showed safety notes crossed out and replaced with instructions emphasizing stillness, framing, and timing. The helicopter never caught fire. It simply stopped responding. And when control disappears in the air, the ground doesn't forgive mistakes. It was May 21st.
That was a sad story. What went wrong? Whose fault was it? How could it have been prevented? What do you guys think? Lucky pilot? He just had scratches and bruises on him. But the rest of the passengers, the bride and the groom, didn't make it. Can you imagine? Whose fault was it? I blame two people. I blame the lady for not listening to the instructions. The safety instructions are there for a reason. They are put in place for us to be safe. And then we decide not to be safe anymore because we want something to look good instead of following the directions. This is what happens. And then the pilot should have told her to shut up. I'm driving this helicopter and we're going to go the speed I say we're going to go so I can make sure I save y'all lives. Because I know what's going on more than you do. What do y'all think? Daisy said, I'm glad I'm not rich. I don't have to go in a helicopter. I never going on a plane again. I know that's right. He misses his daddy. His daddy's in the office. Rockadoo, I'm so sorry. Daddy's in the office. Let's see what else we got. We got Daisy said she glad she ain't rich. She ain't going in no dang on plane. I don't believe you. Safety first, says Carl. I believe that too. I hate heights as it is, says Daisy. Zip it. Okay, moving on. Zip it. She should have zipped it. She's telling, how you going to tell someone else how to do their job? I want to know why, if I'm the lady, I'm in there, I don't want to go that way. I want to go the other way. We can't go that way because there's a storm. I don't care about the storm. I got to get there, and I got to get there now. No, what you're going to do is shut up and sit down, and I'm going to take you around the storm, and it's going to take us longer to get there. And yeah, you will be late. They need to start putting their foot down on these people. Just because you're spending the money, doesn't mean I have to abide by what you say to do. I'm the expert. I'm the pilot. I'm running this. This is my showy do. I heard Earl. Good for him. That's right, Plotter. That's right. Everyone told the captain how to sail the Titanic. They didn't listen to him either. No, the captain was like, full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Choo choo. Okay, our next story. 2016. It looks like Italy.
2016, along the Wilmington River waterfront in Savannah, Georgia, humid air clung to a weathered wooden pier, extending into brackish water as the afternoon temperature reached 84 degrees. Light clouds drifted overhead, offering brief relief from the coastal heat. Arthur Moss, 62, stood adjusting his navy blue suit jacket near the pier's entrance. The retired dock supervisor carried himself with the rigid posture of a man who had spent 4 decades enforcing safety protocols at the port. His weathered hands, scarred from years of handling cargo equipment, smoothed his tie as he watched venue staff make final preparations. Arthur's practical nature had made him question the pier's suitability months earlier, but his daughter's vision for a waterfront ceremony had prevailed. The bride, his 29-year-old daughter who worked as an event planner in Atlanta, had selected this historic pier for its romantic appeal. She had dismissed Arthur's concerns about the structure's age and condition, citing the venue's popularity for weddings. The pier had been flagged by city inspectors for load restrictions earlier that spring, though it remained open for limited use.
I like to listen to the warning signs, okay? They said this is not a good place to have a wedding because it's old. This walkway that they're using should be closed, but it's not because it's for minimum use. I've never seen this video before, so we're all watching it at the same time. But I'm just getting the clues. Like Polo said, the customer is not always right. You can't get what you want. But she's getting it.
Plywood panels had been installed along the central walkway to create a wider aisle for the procession. The seasonal workers who installed them lacked structural engineering expertise. No professional had evaluated whether the modifications compromised the pier's integrity. The original wooden planking showed visible gaps where salt water had corroded the underlying support beams. 140 guests filled white folding chairs arranged in rows along both sides of the extended aisle. A handheld camera operated by the bride's cousin captured footage from the front row, while a hired drone pilot positioned his aircraft 50 feet overhead for aerial shots. The ceremony was scheduled to begin at 4:30 p.m. Arthur took his daughter's arm as the string quartet began the procession.
Here we go. We're going down the aisle. But before we go, let's give Daisy a thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Daisy. Daisy, 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 Daisy. Thank you, Daisy, for my super chat. Thank you, Daisy, for my super chat. Happy Monday, LL and the Adoos. Happy Monday, everyone. And thank you so very, very much for my super chat, super sticker. Woohoo! Okay, let's put some Fanadoos in the chat for Daisy Lee, my mod. You're such a sweetheart. There you go, lovely. Aw, thank you, Polo.
Sessional music. The guests rose simultaneously from their chairs, introducing dynamic loading and vibration across the pier's central span that stressed already corroded connections. The sudden shift in distribution stressed the corroded bolt connection.
Look at this. Is they standing on top of something? Are they in the water?
Pilot positioned his aircraft 50 feet overhead for aerial shots. The ceremony was scheduled to begin at 4:30 p.m. Arthur took his daughter's arm as the string quartet began the processional music. The guests rose simultaneously from their chairs, introducing dynamic loading and vibration across the pier's central span.
The pier.
Already
They're getting married on a pier. Look at this.
Corroded connections. The sudden shift in distribution.
Here they go. Here they go. Look at this. I don't know why these people rented this out to them if it was going to be dangerous. So I'm going to blame the venue. The venue is wrong to rent out something that's not reliable. At least that's what we're thinking. I don't know what's going to happen.
Stressed the corroded bolt connections beneath the central span. As father and daughter stepped onto the modified aisle, the drone footage captured the procession from above. Arthur's measured pace reflected his awareness of the pier's age, though he showed no visible concern. They had walked approximately 30 feet when corroded bolt connections at the pier's midpoint failed in rapid succession under combined dynamic load. The central section of the aisle collapsed inward without warning. Arthur fell 18 feet through the broken planking onto a mixture of exposed timber supports and concrete footings below. The initial impact caused multiple rib fractures and bilateral lung collapse. Section from above. Arthur's measured pace, though he showed no visible concern. They had walked approximately 30 feet when corroded bolt connections at the pier's midpoint failed in rapid succession under combined dynamic load. The central section of the aisle collapsed inward without warning. Arthur fell 18 feet through the broken planking onto a mixture of exposed timber supports and...
Look at that. Look at that.
Concrete footings below.
Concrete.
The initial impact caused multiple rib fractures and bilateral lung collapse. Secondary debris, including collapsing structural timbers, caused catastrophic pelvic trauma and massive uncontrolled hemorrhaging. The drone's overhead footage showed the collapsed section of the pier and a motionless figure beneath broken planks, partially obscured by splintered wood and twisted metal brackets. His daughter had been thrown clear of the collapse zone and suffered only minor abrasions. Emergency responders arrived within 9 minutes of the initial 911 call. Paramedics descended into the debris field, but found no vital signs. Arthur was pronounced dead at 4:47 p.m. from blunt force trauma and massive internal hemorrhage. The wedding ceremony was immediately terminated. Guests were evacuated from the remaining sections of the pier, while a blue tarp was positioned over the collapse site. The drone footage was secured by investigators as part of the official inquiry. The subsequent investigation concluded that the pier's load capacity had been significantly exceeded during the ceremony, accelerating the structural failure. The temporary plywood modifications had created additional stress points that accelerated the failure of already compromised connections. No structural engineer had approved the aisle extension. Arthur Moss died beneath the temporary aisle during the wedding ceremony. Investigators later confirmed the collapse was caused by excessive loading on a structurally compromised pier.
Another situation is or injuries. It just means the venue is liable for their deaths if property safety checks weren't done on the property. That's right, Plotter. That's right. That's right. Poor guy. I guess that's was her father, because he was walking her down the aisle. You know? All right, what time is it? Okay. Third story. Let's move on.
It was July 23rd, 2018, when a summer wedding celebration in Mesa, Arizona became the scene of an unthinkable tragedy involving a forgotten child. The suburban church parking lot stretched across 2 acres of black asphalt, with temperatures soaring to 107 degrees Fahrenheit under the relentless desert sun.
Mercy!
Heat waves shimmered off the pavement as wedding guests hurried between their air-conditioned vehicles and the church's cool interior. Jasper Holt, 4 years old, had been selected as the ring bearer for his aunt's wedding ceremony. The preschooler possessed the typical energy and curiosity of a child his age, but also displayed an unusual compliance when given instructions by adults. His parents, who worked in the healthcare industry, had driven 3 hours from Phoenix that morning to attend the ceremony. Jasper had fallen asleep in his car seat during the final 30 minutes of the journey, exhausted from the early morning departure. The wedding was scheduled to begin at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, with the ceremony expected to last approximately 1 hour, followed by photographs and a brief reception in the church hall. Family members had arrived throughout the morning, with many choosing to leave their vehicles in the parking lot's outer sections to avoid the intense heat radiating from the asphalt closest to the building. When Jasper's family arrived at the church, the child remained deeply asleep in his child safety seat, positioned behind the driver's seat where he was not immediately visible. His father, rushing to help with last-minute ceremony preparations, made the decision to leave Jasper sleeping in the climate-controlled vehicle rather than wake him and deal with a potentially cranky child during the important ceremony. The car was parked in a section of the lot that received full sun exposure throughout the afternoon.
Hold up, wait a minute, How you gonna leave your baby in a hot car by himself? No, you're gonna wake a dude and we're all going. Okay? Wake up, let's hit the road.
All windows remained closed to maintain the air conditioning, and the vehicle's dark interior absorbed heat rapidly once the
He
engines
in his
touched
hot
the road.
ass car.
The outside temperature continued climbing as the afternoon progressed, reaching 100.
What idiot of a dad? Thank you, Plotter. Who leaves a kid in the car with any weather? Let me tell you. I be in the car and a little bit of be sleep, and I'll be wanting to go to the store, and I'm like, you can't go to the store because you're gonna have to wake her up and get out, or so you're gonna need to wait. I've been in situations where the baby has been asleep and I cannot get out the car, or if we get out the car together. I would never leave my baby in the car. What if some cuckoo, even, check this out, even in front of my house, like if I put Hera in the car and I forget something, we're all getting out the car, coming back in the house to get it and get back in the car. Because I don't know who's outside. I don't know how fast somebody can come and take my little one while I'm not watching. Right. Exactly, Plotter. In the heat. Some people just shouldn't have kids, says Lisa B. And when they leave dogs in cars, it's disgusting, let alone a child, right, Daisy? Actually, they should have kids or pets. They shouldn't. If you have to be told not to leave a baby or a pet in a hot car, then you shouldn't have them. The chat has spoken. The adieus has spoken.
109 degrees by mid-ceremony. Inside the sealed vehicle, temperatures rose rapidly after the engine was turned off. Investigators later determined that within the first 15 minutes, the interior temperature had exceeded 120 degrees, creating life-threatening conditions for a child.
Life-threatening conditions.
As the ceremony continued, the temperature inside the vehicle climbed to lethal
Brace
levels.
yourself.
At some point during that period, Jasper lost consciousness as his body was overwhelmed by the extreme heat. Medical experts later explained that prolonged exposure to extreme heat caused fatal hyperthermia, a condition in which the body can no longer regulate its internal temperature. By the time family members returned to the parking lot, the prolonged heat exposure had already caused irreversible injury. The wedding ceremony concluded after one.
Excuse me, but I was finna call this man out his name. This a-hole left a child in the car the whole ceremony, you dumb jerk. There is no excuse whatsoever. He left and went and watched the whole wedding. He left his son in there for 2 to 3 hours in the car. No, what had happened was he took his son along on a job-a-do and didn't want to take him with him to the job because maybe he was going to be in the way. But regardless, why would you leave your child in the car? He didn't even come back and check on him. He didn't even go get him no water. Oh, that is horrible, Demon Dictator. That is so sad. It probably wasn't freezing cold, and it probably wasn't hot. But still, shame, shame, shame. Unbelievable.
1 hour and 15 minutes, followed
1
by 20
hour
minutes of
and 15
photography inside the church. When family members returned to the parking lot, they discovered Jasper unresponsive in the vehicle.
You don't
Emergency
say.
responders were called immediately, but the child showed no signs of life when paramedics arrived.
Jesus.
Attempts at rapid cooling and resuscitation were unsuccessful. Jasper was pronounced dead at the scene, with his core body
I'm sorry,
temperature
guys.
measured at
I did not-
108.
I'm telling you, I did not see these videos before. Okay, I just saw the first one. Trigger warning. It's so sad. It's so sad. The poor little baby didn't make it because of his stupidityness of a father. He should go to jail.
8 degrees. The medical examiner's investigation determined that death resulted from hyperthermia caused by prolonged exposure to extreme heat in the enclosed vehicle. The parking lot was secured as investigators documented the scene and interviewed family members. Investigators later reconstructed the conditions inside the vehicle, confirming that lethal heat levels were reached within approximately 30 minutes of the engine being turned off. It was October 14th.
When I get in the car and my husband's pumping the gas, he turns off the car, right? And me and poor little Kara, we're sitting in the car, hot. hoping and wishing Daddy would hurry up and get the gas in there so that we won't be hot. But just imagine, it only takes you a few minutes to pump gas. So me and Kara can hang out for a few minutes. But this poor little one, wow, what an idiot. Okay, how we feeling? How we feeling? How we doing? Are we okay? Are we just, can we go on? Is these true crimes too much for you? Let me know. Rockadoo. You want a treat? Here. There you go. There's your treat. Here. How we doing? Pickles. Hey. Welcome to the show. It started messing about and beeping the horn. That's how they got in trouble. Beep, beep. The three of us were great at messing around. That's funny. Ooh, got in there and started blowing the horn. Okay, Daisy Lisa, she's going with the flow. Well, let me see what time it is. My stomach is not doing too good. I don't know if it was the coffee or what. Okay, let's see what's going on over here. Let's hope it ain't as help no more kids involved here.
14th, 2015, at a restored farmhouse in rural Michigan. The property had been converted into a wedding venue while maintaining its original 1920s character, complete with hardwood floors, exposed beams, and a large country kitchen that many couples found charming. The farmhouse.
Good for you, Michelle Lee. Michelle Lee says, I would never leave my child, an elderly person, nor pet in the car. I have reported incidents of children and pets being in the car that were still there 1 hour after I got back to my car. It's a shame. We all going in the store together, or we're not going at all.
House sat on 40 acres of rolling hills and offered an intimate setting for smaller weddings, typically hosting 50 to 75 guests. Ember Caldwell was 28 years old and worked as a pastry chef at an upscale restaurant in Grand Rapids. She had trained at culinary school and spent 6 years perfecting her skills in professional kitchens, specializing in elaborate wedding cakes and dessert presentations. Ember's expertise and artistic talent had earned her recognition in local food magazines, and she took enormous pride in her ability to create stunning edible masterpieces. When Ember began planning her wedding, she decided to create her own cake rather than hiring another pastry chef. She designed a 4-tier centerpiece featuring hand-piped buttercream, sugar decorations, and multiple flavors, a project that required 2 full days of preparation. Despite the workload, she committed to handling the cake alongside other wedding responsibilities. The farmhouse venue typically prohibited outside use of its kitchen due to insurance concerns and aging equipment. The space relied on a 1950s-era gas range with unreliable pilot lights and an outdated ventilation system limited to a single exhaust fan. Ember requested an exception, citing her professional experience. The owners agreed, provided she attended a safety briefing covering gas shutoff locations, ventilation limits, and emergency procedures. The day before the wedding, Ember began work around 8 a.m. The old range required frequent adjustments, and she repeatedly relit pilot lights throughout the morning. A
Wow.
faint gas odor was noticeable at times, which she
Ooh.
attributed to the normal operation of the vintage equipment. By mid-afternoon, Ember had completed the baking and was beginning the complex process of making buttercream and preparing her decorating tools. Around 4 p.m.,
I see.
while creating delicate sugar flowers, the smell of gas had become noticeably stronger throughout the kitchen. Rather than immediately turning off all gas appliances and opening windows to ventilate the space, Ember continued working to maintain her schedule and avoid disrupting the temperature-sensitive buttercream she had just finished making. Ember decided to work quickly to finish her decoration.
See, her and that damn buttercream. That very buttercream is going to get you in some serious trouble. Hello, put the buttercream down, back away from the table, and shut it down. Something smells like gasadoo. Hello? Hello? Is anybody here? Is anybody home? Turn the stove off. Turn everything off. I smell gas. Put the buttercream BS on the floor, on the table. Put the buttercream on the table. Sit it all the way down. Have several seats. Have some seats. Look at this cake. If you don't check and find out what the hell that smell is, something gonna go down. I got a bad feeling about it because the gentleman is talking about it. That's a cute story. A very cute story, Michelle E. A very cute story. I like taking my puppy to the store with me. Some stores he can go in with me, some stores he can't. But if the temperature isn't right, then I won't take him with me because he would always want to go. And so when it got hot, he couldn't go bye-bye with mommy. They would get so excited about getting in the car. It was like going on a field trip. My dad was a fireman. And this foul food happens. Our dinner time conversation would commonly be about hurt and unalive humans, and sometimes the something ways they got just on passed on. Wow, that is interesting that your dad was a firefighter. Hubby hates how I can actually eat a dinner and talk about heads being blown off or wrist bleeding, arteries bleeding out. Wow, you could have been a doctor because I couldn't have been. No. I can't see all that stuff. That's a no. I can talk about it because I can't see it. Put the creamness down. She needs to put the cream down.
Before addressing the gas problem, she continued using the butane torch while gas fumes accumulated.
Look at this.
Look at
the
kitchen.
gas.
The combination of leaked gas and an open flame created an extremely dangerous situation that went unrecognized due to.
She has lost all senses. She's got this torch flying around. There's gas everywhere, leaking a dew.
Her focus on completing the cake work. The ignition occurred at the range when a burner flared unexpectedly as Ember attempted to relight a pilot light. Flames spread quickly across the stovetop and into nearby wooden cabinetry, producing thick smoke that rapidly filled the poorly ventilated kitchen. Flames immediately engulfed the area around the range and began spreading to the wooden cabinets and ceiling. Ember initially attempted to control the fire and secure nearby cake components before evacuating, but the smoke intensified quickly, limiting visibility and making continued movement increasingly difficult. The kitchen's single exit became blocked by flames within seconds, trapping her in the rapidly filling space. The farmhouse's balloon frame wooden construction allowed smoke and heat to move rapidly through the structure. The kitchen, filled with thick smoke that made breathing increasingly difficult. The historic building was not equipped with a sprinkler or automatic fire suppression system.
How the hell you don't have a sprinkler? Every place has sprinklers.
Succumbed to smoke inhalation before she could reach the exit or call for help. The fire continued to spread until wedding guests arriving for the rehearsal dinner noticed smoke pouring from the kitchen window and called emergency services. Firefighters arrived within 25 minutes but were unable to save Ember. Fire investigators determined that she had died from smoke inhalation caused by a kitchen fire that started when leaked gas was ignited by an open flame. The wedding was canceled.
Can you imagine? Let's just go there. Come on, let's all go to the kitchen. We all in the kitchen together, okay? We're all in the kitchen together. The stove has caught on fire. I would have been trying to get some salt or a fire extinguisher or something that would put it out. But unfortunately, since she had gas in the air, everything was just soaking up that flame. That flame was feeding it. It was feeding it. She didn't have a chance. She should have got the hell out of there. She went back to try to save something. She went back to do something. Threw the pot away and got stuck. Then here's the kicker. Rockadoo. Rockadoo little. Crazy cake lady. Yeah? Lose it. Lost it. All up in there with that smoke-a-doo. Get the hell out of there. There's flames everywhere. I would have went through that damn door, hot and all. Yeah, I would have got the hell out of there. I would have got the hell out of there. Try to at least. Just soak some water all over my body, put a towel over myself and try to get out that front door. I don't know. That's something. How we doing? See, you faint at the sight of blood. That's interesting. You can talk about it. The buttercream wedding. That's what they need to name it. The buttercream. If she hadn't been effing around with that buttercream situation, she might have been able to get over there to that stove just a little bit quicker. And where's the rest of the assistants? Did nobody see this? Ain't nobody seeing this but me? She was the only one in there cooking? Girl, you needed some help. You can't be trying to do that by yourself. Wow. Interesting. She must have been in there by herself. I didn't hear them say anything about Susan and Joanne got out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, hold on. My computer's acting stupid. Oh, it does. It just goes into the... Okay. Guys, I'm enjoying this. I hope you are. I'm really enjoying the wedding disasters. I'm not enjoying what happened to these people. It's very, very sad. But it did happen. Are you okay, Daisy? Rockadoo. Rockadoo. I gave you a treat. No more treats. All gone. No more. No more. All gone.
And the venue remained closed for 8 months while extensive
They finally looked like they shut it down and did some renovations. You don't think?
renovations were completed. The owners installed modern gas lines, improved ventilation systems, and implemented strict policies prohibiting guest access to cooking areas.
Wednesday.
It was April 22nd, 2013. In the Hudson Valley, New York, a private countryside estate sat under thin spring clouds.
Hold on,
the stone
you
patio
guys can't
still
see.
damp from morning dew. By late brunch, the lawn was lined with folding chairs and linen-covered tables. Within minutes, a brief celebration would bring the courtyard to a complete stop. At the center stood the bride, Amelia Reed,
The bride.
27 years old. She worked as a
gotta go
veterinary
get
assistant at a mixed animal clinic outside Poughkeepsie, splitting her days between restraining anxious dogs and assisting in emergency surgeries on horses. She grew up riding, cleaning stalls before school, saving money for tack instead of vacations. She was steady under pressure, used to blood, used to holding gauze tight against wounds while a veterinarian stitched. Weddings were rare breaks from that world. Champagne service followed a rustic theme, and a groomsman brought a decorative cavalry-style saber to perform sabrage, opening sparkling wine by striking along the bottle's seam so internal pressure releases the cork and collar.
Wow.
Each bottle held roughly 90 pounds per square inch of pressure, meaning weakened glass could fracture instead of separating cleanly. The bottle used had been stored in a warm car earlier that morning before being placed unevenly into ice, creating invisible stress lines. Guests gathered in a semicircle on the stone patio with phones raised, while Amelia stood about 3 feet to the left.
What does this remind you of? What does this remind you of? Does this remind you of something? Remind you of a movie? If somebody can name it, they get the comment of the day. What movie is this? You think the bottle in how can something as simple as a champagne bottle could be a disaster? Okay, if you don't know, it's a movie. They came out with a new version of it. There's like 4 or 5 sequels. I'll give you a hint. God, what is the name of it? I done forgot. Okay. Yes, Carl gets the comment of the moment, the day. Go, Carl, go. Go, Carl, go. Go, Carl, go. Okay, doesn't this sound like the Final Destination? You know, he's like explaining this over here ain't going right over here. And then you got this bottle that's been in the heat all day. Now they put the bottle in the ice and it's uneven and all this stupidity stuff. You know, what the hell does a bottle of champagne got to do with this wedding? That's Final Destination. Final Destination. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up for Carl. Demon Dictator, Father of the Bride, The Wedding Crashers, The Final Destination. You know how she got on the roller coaster ride, and every time something happened, you look at it like, oh, that man's eating ice cream. You're looking at the man that's eating ice cream. He's gonna drop the ice cream. The ice cream's gonna get all up in the screws and stuff. The screws gonna get loose and come off. I mean, stupid stuff like that. But that's what happens on Final Destination. If you have not seen it, the new one is really good. Have you seen the new one? Oh, that's how your brain works, Daisy. You're so cute. Who's seen Final Destination? When the can of Coke got stuck under the car pedal and caused that accident on the motorway. Oh my God. Oh, you're talking about the new movie. Hi, Golden. Hello. It's weird. Golden's head sister wife. Golden is head sister wife. Okay, Final Destination series is crazy. It is. Have you guys seen the new one? The new one is so good. You're like, what the heck? What? Wait a minute, slow down. The movie keeps you focused and scared every moment you turn your head. You think something's gonna happen to these people. And it do. Yeah, they're gory. I'm not a big gory movie person, so that's not like my favorite genre of movies. No. What scares the hell out of me is ghost, paranoia, stuff like that. You know, like The Conjuring. Yeah, I'm scared as hell. Yes. But look, let's see what's going to happen with this damn bottle.
Left of the bottle's neck, the groomsman positioned the blade along the seam and drew it back. He had watched online videos, but had not practiced beyond.
Trouble. Trouble. Trouble is a brewing. Trouble is a brewing. All because someone wanted to open a bottle of champagne a certain way. Somebody gonna get hurt.
One attempt at home. He swung forward in one smooth motion. The blade struck slightly below the lip instead of cleanly at the collar. Instead of a clean separation, the glass failed unevenly.
Ooh.
The neck shattered downward. The sound was sharper than a cork pop,
Ooh.
closer to a small explosion. Champagne.
Gee whiz. Ooh, that was an explosion. Here, let me get my sound effects. That was an explosion. That's what that was. It went pop, pop, pop. The glass splattered and went everywhere. Somebody got cut. Somebody got cut. Hold on, hold on. Here it is right here again.
Separation, the glass failed unevenly.
Ooh, look
The
how
neck
big the
shattered
bottle
downward.
was.
The sound was sharper than a
Look how
cork pop, closer to a small explosion. Champagne sprayed outward in a white burst mixed with fine shards. The bottle exploded instead of opening cleanly, and a thick shard of glass shot sideways from the shattered neck. The fragment, later measured at about 3 inches long with a sharp, tapered edge, struck Amelia on the left side of her neck just below the jaw. At first, several guests thought champagne had splashed her dress. She blinked and brought her hand to her throat. Within seconds, dark red blood began pulsing through her fingers in steady bursts. The carotid artery carries blood from the heart to the brain.
Rockadoo. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia. Come on, come on, come on, come on to Mamma Mia. A rockadoo, a rockadoo. Come with Mama, 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 Mama Mia. Mamma Mia. Mama, 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 Mama Mia. Mama Mia. He's traumatized. Was you traumatized? My mama, look at this. Look at this. She didn't got cut on her neck. Seconds. This is Final Destination.
Shards. The bottle exploded instead of opening cleanly, and a thick shard of glass shot sideways from the shattered neck. The fragment, later measured at about 3 inches long with a sharp, tapered edge, struck Amelia on the left side of her neck just below the jaw. At first, several guests thought champagne had splashed her dress. She blinked and brought her hand to her throat. Within seconds, dark red blood began pulsing through her fingers in steady bursts. The carotid artery carries blood from the heart to the brain under strong pressure, and when it is completely cut, bleeding is fast and forceful. Her expression shifted from confusion to weakness. Her knees buckled less than 10 seconds after the impact, and she collapsed. Guests lowered her onto the stone patio and pressed napkins and table linens against the wound. Blood spread quickly across the surface, running into the shallow lines between the stones. Emergency services were called at 12:47 p.m., according to dispatch records later reviewed by investigators. Her movement slowed as blood loss reduced circulation to her brain, leading to dizziness and rapid loss of consciousness. By the time paramedics arrived about 9 minutes later, she had no detectable pulse. They began chest compressions and continued advanced.
Oh, dang. Dang. This is the bride. Hello. Wake up. Yeah, he wanted his mama. He wanted his daddy, but his daddy is gone. Daddy ain't in there, and he's barking. And it's like, Daddy's not there. Daddy's in the office. Yes. Yes. Wait, I'm in the chat. I'm in the chat. Why do people even feel the need to do something so damn dangerous? I know. Who would have knew? Who knew? Who knew this was gonna be dangerous? See, my silly butt would have did something like this and wouldn't have known. Oh, you got to be more careful. It's very dangerous. And let the experts do it. Daisy, hang in there, girl. Yes, amen. In Jesus' name. Amen, Daisy. Amen, Carl. Shoot. These accidents, like this could happen this is crazy.
Advanced life support on the patio. Despite sustained efforts, she was pronounced dead at the scene. In the investigation that followed, authorities reviewed guest phone recordings
She
and
didn't make
collected
it.
glass fragments from the patio. The county medical examiner explained the findings in simple terms. A sharp glass shard had
Oh,
completely severed the left carotid artery. She lost a fatal volume of blood in under 2 minutes. Unconsciousness likely occurred within about 1 minute as blood flow to the brain collapsed. Outside an operating room with immediate surgical control of the vessel, the injury was not survivable. State police ruled the death accidental. The groomsman faced a civil lawsuit, but no criminal charges. The estate prohibited sabrage and similar demonstrations. Amelia's parents later established a small veterinary scholarship at the community college she once attended, directing funds toward students training for emergency animal care.
y'all okay? You need a minute? Let me
It
pause it.
was October 12th.
Cause they coming. These these stories is coming. They ain't got no mercy. Okay? No mercy. Y'all okay? We good? I don't know how many people's in my chat right now. I really couldn't even tell you. Something's wrong with the button. Maybe they need to just remove it altogether. Da 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 da. So, nope, nothing there. Woo! Okay, put a 1 in the chat. $14 likes. I'm good. Definitely trying to take heed. Okay. Well, no opening the bottle for me like that. And I don't want nobody opening no bottle around me like that. We good. I don't want nothing like that. Final destination. Crap-a-do. Okay, we're good. Let's go.
2018. At Takachiho Shrine in Miyazaki Prefecture, steady afternoon wind moved through cedar trees above a narrow gravel path carved along a steep ravine. Guests adjusted sleeves and hair as small stones shifted underfoot near an exposed edge, typical of the shrine's historic, minimally protected grounds. Among them was Aiko Tanabe, 24, the bride. She had recently graduated with a degree in architecture focused on traditional wooden structures and planned to work in heritage preservation, restoring aging temples without altering their original form. Choosing a shrine ceremony had been her idea, drawn to spaces where history and structure remained visible in everyday use. Friends said she often noticed small details others missed, straightening uneven displays, adjusting frames, and quietly pointing out structural flaws during visits to historic sites. She treated balance and structure as habits formed long before her career.
So basically, what they trying to tell us is this woman is smart when it comes to structures. So she know when things are going to collapse, when things are on the twist, foundations jacked up. So she knows, like she's got an inner eye right here for it. So nothing should go wrong at her wedding. No, sirree. This should be smooth sailing. Nothing, not a structure shouldn't happen at her wedding. A structure shouldn't come down at her wedding or something slip-a-do like that. Not this one. Not because she's an expert. She just graduated with a degree in architect. Okay, smart. Got it going on. Know how to preserve something that's old and decrepit. She's our expert. So I wonder where they taking this story, because she knows. So I know she's not going to pick a place where her guest is going to fall through something. I'm just saying, I haven't seen it.
Career began. That afternoon, she wore a formal white kimono and a sunoka kushi, a broad, rigid bridal headpiece secured into a styled wig with combs and ties.
Look at
It
that.
did not weigh much, but it extended outward from her shoulders, catching more of the wind moving through the gorge. Weather data later reviewed from the nearby Takachiho station recorded sustained winds around 20 miles per hour, with gusts reaching between 40 and 45 as air funneled through the gorge corridor. Like many traditional shrines, the path followed the natural terrain, with gravel layered over compacted soil along a curve that sloped toward a 60.
So, excuse me, everybody in the chat. I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna need some assistance. Get your hands ready to type. What is this? Is this what she's going? What is this? Wait a minute. What the hell is this?
Crunching lightly against the gravel, the wind moving through the gorge. Weather data later reviewed from the nearby Takachiho station recorded sustained winds around 20 miles per hour, with gusts reaching between 40 and 45 as air funneled through the gorge corridor. Like many traditional shrines, the path followed the natural terrain, with gravel layered over.
Okay, what is this? Okay, what is this right here? Is this like, what is this? Is this where she's headed or going, coming from, going to? What? Like, what is this? I didn't see it earlier. I didn't see where she wanted to get married. Is this where the hell she wanted to get married? A small avalanche? She's setting herself up for failure. Look at this. See what I'm saying? See, this is that stupid stuff. You don't do stupid stuff. You don't put yourself directly into an avalanche, dangerous stranger way, and ready to slip and fall down a hill on your wedding day. This looks like disaster is going to happen. I could have told her that. That's what I'm thinking, Demon Dictator. Is she going to be blown away, carried away by the wind? Is her headpiece going to get caught on one of these rocks and take her down? Like, what the hell? Why even? Thank you. Temple. Go to the temple. Hello? Somebody tell her before she walk across this thing. How far is she going? This is that stupid stuff. This makes no sense at all. Help us. Yeah, because they brought it up, CC. They brought up the headgear, how it was tied around, and then, it's windy. Okay? Yeah, this is that stupid stuff. She's in that stupid shit. That's the stupid stuff. Yeah, this ain't this.
Over compacted soil along a curve that sloped toward a 65 to 75 foot drop onto rock shells.
75 feet drop. There you go. 75 feet drop. That's why I want to get married. I want to get married right here on top of the mountains where all this crap going on and this is going on and da-da-da-da-da. This is that stupid stuff. This is what you call, let's dare to dare and get on one of these pathways and get married up in the sky, 70 feet below. Hi, Marine. Hi, Fanadoos. Okay, guys, look at I just want everybody to get a clear vision of where she's going to be getting married. And I would have told whoever would have suggested this, hell no. Why? Why do I want to risk my life to say I do? Well, Cece, she's the architecture of architecturers. She went to school for it. She should know the structure. She should know if it's going to hold her or not, and all the people with the wind capacity. But she ain't the only one should know. The path people that is allowing her to go through the path should have said, no, the winds is too windy in it. So I'm going to need you to get somewhere and sit down. You can't get married today. That's going to be a no-a-do. No, look at this. 70 feet up. And all that's down there is rocks and stuff. First of all, I wouldn't have my ASSS on this thing just to walk across. I'm like, I don't want to go. Who's going across? Just because. Okay? Tell me in the chat. I need my chat to wake up. And I need you to tell me who is going to walk across the bridge. Who's going to do it? Raise your hand. Put a 1 in the chat if you would just do it for sightseeing, because it's a tourist attraction, whatever that is. Or put a 2 in the chat if you said, hell no. Because somebody could accidentally push my butt right over. Bloop. And there I go. It was an accident. No, get the heck off of stuff you don't supposed to be on. Whoever created this bridge is a no-no. Unless you're trying to get from one town to the next, get off this bridge. What is this purpose? Yeah, and how many people is going to get on the bridge? Is the whole party going to get on the bridge? Brave attendees of this wedding, wear your tennis shoes. My daughter would say, Mom, I'm brave. I can do it. She's so cute. Not me. I'm not getting on there. I'm not walking across there to see you get married. I'll see your ass when you get back across the bridge. Okay? Because, excuse me, how many of us can be on this thing at one time?
And shallow water below. There were no tall guardrails, only low wooden posts spaced intermittently. Earlier in the afternoon, a shrine attendant mentioned strong crosswinds along the cliffside stretch and suggested keeping photographs closer to the main courtyard. The photographer preferred the gorge backdrop. By then, repeated foot traffic had loosened the top layer of gravel. Aiko stepped onto the narrow curve with 2 bridesmaids several feet behind her, their sandals crunching lightly against the gravel. Other guests stayed back to leave the photographer a clear line of sight. The wind moved left to right across the path in uneven bursts, lifting her wide sleeves and pressing the fabric briefly against her arms before easing again. Small pebble.
Danger, 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 danger. You're in danger. Take off the white thing. Do something. Danger. Danger. Hell no, I don't do heights, bridges, or anything, says Daisy. I'll watch the video. The scenery is beautiful. I prefer to admire it from afar. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Daisy. You are so awesome. Thank you for putting that in there for me. Okay, so let's continue.
Shifted and skittered toward the exposed edge with each
Told
gust.
you it was gonna
She
get.
paused near the outer side of the curve to steady herself, adjusting her stance by inches. Witnesses later said she glanced down briefly at her footing. As another gust pushed through the trees, the headpiece and sleeves caught the air together. This gust was stronger. It did not lift her, but it twisted her upper body to the right. Her right heel rolled on loose gravel. The sole slid outward across the shifting surface. She raised her arms to counterbalance, but the lateral force continued for another fraction of a second. Several witnesses described hearing a short scraping sound as her sandal lost contact. Her body pivoted toward the drop.
What the fuck? Go. Y'all need to see my face. What happened to the rail? Why is she loosey-goosey in it? What happened to the rail? There was a rail. Didn't you see the rails? They had brown rails. I figured her thing was gonna get caught in a rail, but she is loosey-goosey. She's out there just doing it. Good for you, Carl. Thank you. This, I can't believe it. She is just out there. And that's when her shoe slips. She's going down, guys. Okay, the bride.
Clear line of sight. The wind moved left to right across the path in uneven bursts, lifting her wide sleeves and pressing the fabric briefly against her arms before easing again. Small pebbles shifted and skittered toward the exposed edge with each gust. She paused near the outer side of the curve to steady herself, adjusting her stance by inches. Witnesses later said she glanced down briefly at her footing. As another gust pushed through the trees, the headpiece and sleeves caught the air together. This gust was stronger. It did not lift her, but it twisted her upper body to the right. Her right heel rolled on loose gravel. The sole slid outward across the shifting surface. She raised her arms to counterbalance, but the lateral force continued for another fraction of a second. Several witnesses described hearing a short scraping sound as her sandal lost contact. Her body pivoted toward the drop. Gravel scattered beneath her feet. She tipped sideways and disappeared over the edge in less than a second. Two guests lunged forward but stopped short of the exposed rim. Below, observers saw her strike a rock outcrop approximately 25 to 35 feet down before continuing to tumble. Her head made forceful contact with a jagged stone near the base of the ravine. She came to rest against uneven rock near shallow water. Shrine personnel and bystanders moved along a maintenance access route toward the gorge floor. Rope support was required to reach her safely. When responders reached her position, she showed no pulse and no spontaneous respirations. The autopsy documented multiple skull fractures and a high cervical spine dislocation, a break at the upper neck where it connects to the skull. Severe lung contusions and internal bleeding were also present, consistent with high-impact blunt force trauma. The medical examiner concluded that the head and upper cervical injuries would have caused immediate loss of consciousness and were rapidly fatal. Toxicology results were negative. The death was ruled accidental. In the months that followed, shrine officials installed low-profile safety barriers along the exposed curve. The additions preserved the traditional appearance while creating a clearer boundary along the ravine's edge.
Now you want to put up a barrier? Now you want to put up something that should have been there a long time ago? If that was easily accessed to fall, what if a little kid had like ran into that and fell? I'm surprised. more treats. You're gonna get sick, and it's gonna be all my fault. No more treats. All right. Wow, poor bride. I'm so sad. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah. Now they're gonna put a burial up.
Edge. The previous story showed how
What time it is?
a single step can shift everything. It was July 7th, 2016, when the evening air along Gulf Shores, Alabama carried the humid warmth of summer across the white sand beaches. The temperature had reached 91 degrees during the day and remained at 82 degrees as sunset approached over the Gulf of Mexico. A gentle offshore breeze moved at 8 miles per hour, carrying the scent of salt water and the distant sound of waves breaking against the shore.
Okay, this is the last story. And then I got to go to my other live. We're going to talk about Donald Trump, his war, the protests, and people are concerned with Donald Trump's war, and there's boots on the ground. Yes, Donald Trump is a liar. Hello, Marine. Why the hell would you even be there without safety rails? Exactly. Or a harness. Shit. You're on the edge. You're on the edge of a cliff. And why are you that damn close to the cliff? What is you standing right there for? Is you wanting to fall? I'm not going to blame the victim. Sorry, that didn't come out right. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm like, Marine, the hell is you doing standing on the edge of a cliff? And your sandal gets caught up in it. Get away from the danger. Step back. Somebody should have said, step back, move over. You too close. She was that close to the edge. Jesus. I'm like that too. That could have been preventable. Totally preventable. Okay, last story, and then I gotta go. I got, like I said, and I'll let this play, okay? One more story. Now there's more, so we'll come back another day and do more of these. I'm just trying them out and see how you like, the true crime where we're going. This is a long series. So I will be showing this again. Okay, not this particular segments, but these stories. Okay, great. Let's go.
The sky was clear with excellent visibility extending miles over the water. The beachfront wedding ceremony had concluded on a private stretch
that's
of
pretty.
sand bordered by sea oats and dune grass. 80 guests gathered on the beach as the sun painted the horizon in shades
that's
of
gorgeous.
orange and
What
pink.
could go
Tiki
wrong?
torches provided flickering light along the ceremony area, while string lights connected wooden posts driven into the sand. The reception was planned to continue with a private fireworks display. Caleb Rice, 28, knelt in the sand, adjusting the placement of mortar tubes approximately 50 feet from the guest seating area. The electrical apprentice's confidence with tools and pyrotechnic devices had made him volunteer for the setup when no licensed operator could be secured. His impulsive personality and hands-on approach to problem solving had served him well in construction work, though he lacked formal training in fireworks safety. The groom, his longtime friend who worked in commercial fishing, had purchased the fireworks from a roadside stand without consulting safety regulations. The display included 12 consumer-grade mortar shells ranging from 3 to 4 inches in diameter, designed to launch 200 to 400 feet into the air. No professional pyrotechnician had been hired due to budget constraints. The mortar tubes
Sorry, you couldn't hear me. Rocky is barking. He's got an attitude because daddy's not here and mommy has put her foot down. There is no more treats. So anyway, why would you buy a stand and not have all the safety and things that you need to run something like this? Wouldn't that freak you out that some could spark up and then go off and then your whole building just blow up into firework land? Like that would scare me. So what do we need to ensure everything goes well? So I don't know who bought this. I missed the part of who's the owner. Is it the fiance? Or is it just the people on the islands thing? Why is this important? Should I rewind it? Okay. Let me just go back just a tad. I missed something.
And hands-on approach to problem solving had served him well in construction work, though he lacked formal training in fireworks safety. The groom, his longtime friend who worked in commercial fishing, had purchased the fireworks from a roadside stand.
His friend purchased it.
Without consulting safety regulations. The display included 12 consumer-grade mortar shells ranging from 3 to 4 inches in diameter, designed to launch 200 to 400 feet into the air. No professional pyrotechnician had been hired due to budget constraints. The mortar tubes had been placed directly into the loose sand without proper stabilization or angled positioning. Standard safety protocols required concrete bases and precise angles to ensure vertical launches, but these materials were not available. The tubes were positioned in a rough line parallel.
Oh, hell no. This is seconds from disaster. That's what this is. Seconds from disaster. You see it coming. You don't see it coming. You know, it's seconds from disaster. This is a disaster that could have been prevented. You're going to buy something and don't know what the hell you're buying, and then you're going to think, oh, just put it in the sand. Boop. What if one of them sand things that you put in the sand hit someone, depending on the direction that it's coming in? Wow. Okay, that's it.
Well, to the water's edge, a chest-mounted action camera recorded Caleb's movements as he prepared the ignition sequence. The footage showed him connecting fuses between the mortar tubes to create a timed display. Guests remained seated in folding chairs positioned approximately 40 feet from the launch area, well inside the danger zone and far short of the recommended safety distance of at least 150 feet. As darkness sprayed mortar shells ranging from 3 to...
Okay, you idiots. And I'm not calling them idiots. I'm talking about the people with the fireworks. They're the idiots. The people that own the fireworks. The one that just bought it from his cousin or whatever, and then we're going to use my cousin's fireworks for my wedding. And here we are using some stuff that ain't regulated. I'm just going to put it in the sand, and you can sit 40 feet away. But it's 150 feet away from this situation, at least. And they're 40 feet away, seconds from disaster.
To 4 inches in diameter, designed to launch 200 to 400 feet into the air. No professional pyrotechnician had been hired due to budget constraints. The mortar tubes had been placed.
Yeah, the budget's all jacked up. Then get somewhere and sit down. You ain't ready to launch. You ain't ready to launch? Marine wants us to know the sand can't possibly stabilize the explosives.
Directly into the loose sand without proper stabilization or angled positioning. Standard safety protocols concrete bases and precise angles to ensure vertical launches, but these materials were not available. The tubes were positioned in a rough line parallel to the water's edge. A chest-mounted action camera recorded Caleb's movements as he prepared the ignition sequence. The footage showed him connecting fuses between the mortar tubes to create a timed display. Guests remained seated in folding chairs positioned approximately 40 feet from the launch area, well inside the danger zone and far short of the recommended safety distance of at least 150 feet. As darkness settled over the beach, Caleb lit the master fuse and stepped back several feet to observe the display. The first mortar fired successfully, sending a burst of red and gold sparks 300 feet above the water. The second tube, inadequately secured in the shifting sand, tilted approximately 15 degrees from vertical as the shell ignited. The 4-inch mortar shell fired horizontally instead of skyward, traveling at high speed toward the guest area. The projectile struck Caleb in the center of his chest before he could react to the misfire. The shell's internal brake charge ignited at low altitude due to improper launch orientation, causing a premature aerial burst directly in front of him, releasing superheated gases and debris. The explosion caused catastrophic chest injuries and massive internal trauma. The force of the blast disrupted vital functions and threw him backward onto the sand, where he lay motionless as smoke and debris settled. The chest-mounted camera recorded Caleb's collapse and the immediate aftermath as wedding guests screamed and rushed toward the launch area. The remaining fireworks were quickly extinguished by guests using sand and water from nearby coolers. Several attendees sustained minor burns and cuts from debris. Emergency responders arrived within 8 minutes of the initial 911 call. Paramedics found Caleb unresponsive with massive chest trauma and no detectable vital signs. Despite immediate resuscitation attempts, he was pronounced dead at the scene from severe chest injuries caused by blast trauma. The beach was immediately cleared of all guests and secured by authorities. The remaining fireworks were handled by explosive disposal technicians. The action camera footage was secured as evidence. The wedding reception was canceled permanently. The investigation revealed that the mortar tubes lacked proper stabilization and had been positioned.
Gone. Wasn't that the groom? Was he the groom? I thought he was the groom. Yeah, trying to have a fireworks on a firecracker budget. That's right. That's right. Trying to be cheap. Cheaped his way right on out. Yep, a wedding, a death, and a cremation, all in the same event. That was the groom. Oh, but they canceled the reception permanently. You think? Why would they have that when the groom is no longer with us? May he rest in peace.
Too close to spectators. No licensed pyrotechnician had overseen the display.
It was too close to spectators. There was no licensed person to look over the situation. He's telling us what went wrong.
Paramedics found Caleb unresponsive with massive chest trauma and no detectable vital signs. Despite immediate resuscitation attempts, he was pronounced dead at the scene from severe chest injuries caused by blast trauma. The beach was immediately cleared of all guests and secured by authorities. The remaining fireworks were handled by explosive disposal technicians, and the action camera footage was secured as evidence. The wedding reception was canceled permanently. The investigation revealed that the mortar tubes lacked proper stabilization and had been positioned too close to spectators. No licensed pyrotechnician had overseen the display. The investigation concluded that improper setup and the absence of professional oversight led to the fatal fireworks incident.
All right, guys.
It was...
Hold on. Woo, the next one is Lubbock, Texas. Here in Texas. So you got to come back for part 2 of our Weddings Gone Wrong True Crimes. There's a whole new there's a slew of stories. I didn't know it was that many. We'll never get to them all, in one day. So we'll come back. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm moving over there to Trumpville. So come and let's find out and see what's going on with the war. With the war. It was supposed to be the happiest day of his life. Yeah. And then he lightened it. He right up on it. Woo, Jesus. Bye, Daisy. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. See you soon.